Me.
I always love the VG Cats one where they're like, "This is like you need to use this boss." No, I'm saving it for the final boss. It's the final boss. What was it? There's a secret boss. The credits are rolling, so they are.
New Game Plus,
still,
baby.
There's still sometimes a secret boss.
I mean, I think of Super Mario RPG, fucking Culex.
Listen. There's always New Game Plus.
There, yeah. At least in new games. Or then, like, what was the one game? Undertale, where you gotta like fight the credits.
True.
Oh God, the credits want to murder me.
What?
Should move to Minnesota. Come chill with me and Seth. It'll be fun.
Sounds good.
I mean, it was fun at the Airbnb, right? Yeah, it was like.
We had so much fun during the week, smiley face.
Hey, David Buster's was the best. I don't know what you're talking about.
We had the best 4 hours ever.
But don't worry, I'm there even though the pictures don't show it. It's just the camera's got all fuzzy whenever someone pointed a camera at me.
Yeah, and anytime we tried to take a picture of Chris, if the camera got all fuzzy.
Unless I was out of focus or like you saw just my ears, because we had a lot of pictures of where it's like, hey, look, there's the helm. You can see the ears of the helm.
It's just the fucking SpongeBob meme. Where he's like, "This is me," in the commercial.
I just imagine that the eyeball from Monsters Inc. They always put stickers on my face. Mickey. So yeah, you guys had approached, and it was just after sunset. You know that it's only going to get worse in terms of their activity as they were found in the daylight, which means they were probably a nighttime patrol. And yeah, Gnolls, have a particularly hardy mindset since they can usually select from certain orc feats and stuff like that for basically like long marches and stuff like that in the desert. In terms of, so it's probably a nighttime patrol. And then now that the sun is setting, it's likely the camp is probably waking up since they're a nocturnal race. So it means that it's very likely that where you're scouting out here will probably be scouted out by a more combat-side patrol. At the same time, from what you can tell, they seem to have a very nice amount of gear and quality gear. Like, it doesn't look like all ragtag standard Gnoll. Looking at it, you guys made the check to realize that a lot of that is city-made, which means that they probably have at least a working relationship with people with money. That being said, what you know of Gnolls means that they're probably not going to just be like, oh, our bad. Oh, shucks, we tried to enslave one of your people. Oh, darn. Here you go, have him back.
They're gonna be bitches, probably. "Quote unquote" higher. I don't know if you realize how Gnolls work there. You can keep her. You can keep our guide. Just get a new driver. Now we need our guide. How we plan on approaching this?
It's a very good question.
We can't exactly hide from them until the time they're sleepies.
Yeah, Gnolls are decent trackers and even better with scent, which means unless you do some major track work, even if you move out of direct line of sight of this area, that they're likely to probably track you down. That doesn't not necessarily combat, like if they're not exactly. I was gonna say they're not zealots. Yeah, they're zealots, but
Well, I figure our best chance is probably Dev. No offense to Hobbs.
What do you mean?
This is just slightly tangential to Dev's whole thing.
See, Hobbs just walks up there and grabs his junk and question mark, question mark, question mark, profit.
Then the color slaps on.
No, I was just thinking this, right? I walk up, like from a distance, you see me having like a normal, healthy conversation. You see them like do one rude gesture.
Explode.
No, you see them do one rude gesture, and then you see me take out my new wand that I get, and 2 fireballs get nuked on the city.
God, fourth ed Gnolls just hit different. Remember, I was trying to look for any Gnoll source books because they're kind of undervalued.
Look at those pups.
It's
Fucking
amazing.
doggos.
Fourth ed ones look amazing.
Oh, jeez. Those are hardcore Gnolls. Those aren't regular Gnolls.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Regular
definitely a battle.
Regular null.
Right. That's definitely a raiding party Gnoll, which at least you're not. But
So, what do I do? And if talking don't go well, profit. Or something. I don't know. Yeah. Can we see like how many do we see currently? I guess is the thing. Or how many do we see?
somewhere in the vicinity of, you'd wager around 50.
5-0.
5-0.
Fuck and me.
And then you were told that the clan from the one that you met at the merchants one numbers around 350. So this, they did allude that they have a, looking at this, like, or actually you had figured out looking at this base, and it does look like this isn't a settlement, but there are signs that they've set up this settlement multiple times and probably different spots on different times. I.e., you'd see some of those stuff was set in this area before, but it looks old.
Yeah, because I think fighting 50 of them at once would be bad.
Looking at it, you can see that it looks like they have stuff set up for the river. So, like, they have like some sort of rafting system. The river basically, at this point, flows away from the city. So it seems to be floating, but otherwise, it looks like they utilize some with that. And then they have only a couple caves for the number of people that you know that it said that's moved. So this is likely some sort of transference or maybe sale place. But the cages are fairly large, probably 6 to 10 people in each. Or at least size-wise, you don't know how many are in at this stage.
If only we had a druid. Ultra River is a bitch.
What'd you just say?
No, I said Ultra River is a bitch.
Oh. You said, because I heard the if only we had a druid, and I was going to make a comment about that. And then I thought you had said, but all druids are bitches. And I was
No.
about to be like, fucking excuse me. Nikki, I'd like to have a word with you
Someone
outside
gets
of call.
offended. He's not even listening. Well, take it away, Dev, I guess.
You believe in you.
We should probably have someone's to. Well, I mean, the caravan should probably be guarded. I don't know if you want to leave anybody behind for that or.
Could leave the leadership cohorts or something behind. The easier way to basically give you guys a good amount of guards.
Yeah, if something goes horribly wrong, we get captured, then the leadership cohort can clearly save us.
Oh, yeah. Because with Goblin being potentially out for an extended period, that was a conversation I was going to have with you guys when we did this. before jumping right back in. Is because while I could just level up like Verlois as an easy fix, it's like that. Then I have to figure out a reason to undo that later, which is, and also Verlois is a very specific type of NPC with very specific powers that aren't exactly another player. So I was going to see if you wanted me to interlude. Otherwise, there are a couple people I know that have been waiting that I could see about potentially joining, basically just to fill up. Because having 5 people wouldn't be the end of the world if Goblin does come back, or on days he can make it. But basically, I was going to see what you guys want to do.
I mean, I don't mind a newbie joining us, or even an old bee joining us.
Yeah, especially comes down to either I bump up an NPC, which, well, there's only really one, which is Verlois, which, unless I severely change her build, which I really don't want to do because I like what I had planned for her, and it's like I don't think she'd be a great use to you guys. Otherwise, other options is DMPC or look at the people who are on the waiting list.
For now, I'd say having her as like a DMNPC should be fine. But like, I'm with Nikki on like the having another player wouldn't be the end of the world. I'd be down with that. My only stipulation would be like if we could have a conversation about it outside of like stream time.
Yeah,
and like who you're thinking about, because there are some people that'd be like, I've never played with them before, so I'm a little nervous, or I know them, I don't want them in the game.
Well, I think let's not misunderstand. I think the idea was to shoot and make a new DMPC because up being Verlois wouldn't necessarily be useful.
right. Verlois, as she is useful as a cohort and has useful powers that are good in utility, but as a dedicated character, she's weak. And even if I upscale a Psychopomp, those powers are very much utility.
Yeah, that works too. Yeah.
As long as we get to talk to V still.
Yeah, V's not going anywhere. V's still here, and I'm still going to leave her. Like, she's not going to stop being a leadership cohort. She'll still be around. And so it's like you're not going to lose any of the benefits of her. It's just I'm not going to put her in every combat like I normally do.
Gotcha.
She'll show up in combats where it makes sense. Unless Goblin's here. If Goblin's here, then she'll be right at that combat because she's with him. But the point being is the DMP. If you do go DMPC, then it does become a bit of a shop because you can obviously go like as long as we can argue a good storyline for it. But honestly, there's plenty of good story. I mean, hell, like honestly, my first thought went to it would be easy to bring in either someone in the slavers, like in the slaves, like that you release, or one of the Gnolls themselves.
Those were my thoughts too. Yeah.
Otherwise, the other option is the librarian too, but she's not exactly a major combatant, and you guys kind of already have a lot of arcanists. The only thing she brings to the table is she is a rogue arcanist, which is a little rare to see. We can talk about it afterwards. Right now, I'll just not use the house rules, so it's not a big deal. You guys will just outpace it, and then. But it is something I wanted to bring up. I did want to deal with it beforehand, or I was thinking of devoting just a whole thing to it. But honestly, out of character sounds, or out of stream sounds better.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you guys want, for the sake of dev, if all of you want to roll a knowledge local for some specifics, or knowledge nobility, I know that's weird for Gnolls, but basically for the sake of business with Gnolls, some important facts that you may like to know.
Sorry, I just got off the phone. What was that?
Apparently, I know a lot about noble Gnolls.
Basically, I was offering a knowledge nobility or a knowledge. What the hell? I rolled 20 timed out.
What if I am not trained in either of those?
I did so well that I timed Cursive out.
Basically, if you want some extra knowledge.
I didn't hear what the other one was, but
Nobility or local.
Okay.
Sure, I can't do like religion.
Religion does help you with Gnolls, but you've already gotten that intel on them. Basically, that has to do with their connection to Lamashtu. In this case, this is about their society.
Yeah, you're good. I just don't have either of the other two trained, and I'm just like,
Okay. So, Griarch, you're able to instruct Dev on a few major things. One being that devs. Yes, devs. We're talking about devs. Gnolls are very, very much, while they will barter, the price is the price. They don't usually barter for something that's less value, but at the same time, they won't do that to you either in a bad way, i.e. basically like they're not going to they're known not to really renege, despite their chaotic nature, they don't renege on deals. The deal is the deal. Now that being said, doesn't mean you can't barter for other things. You just have to prove to them that it means the same thing. And if you're ever found like basically they hate bartering. They think that it's basically a form of lying. The value is the value is the value. So you can do other things. You just have to prove them that that's what it's worth. And if they find out that you're double speaking them, they're at best not going to deal with you anymore, and at worst going to try to kill you. You know that they value savagery and surprise, like as much as that may seem like a bad call in most societies. Like generally, brutality, savagery, and stuff is seen as an individual trait unless you are clearly making it about everyone. I.e., like if you suddenly deck one of them, it's unlikely that you're going to get jumped by the entire clan. It's more going to be like the what did John do? Like, or maybe John did nothing. That person just wants to show how tough they are by punching John. I personally would have punched Tyler because that makes you look tougher. But more power to the John puncher. Uh-huh. And then what else? With that knowledge, you are aware that there are rumors that there are certain recruitment tactics Gnolls use in order to bring more into their fold. A lot involves Lamashtu and horrific things that does, but others involve not less arcane means, but definitely ones that involve, like, it's said often that Gnoll hordes grow after raids as opposed to shrink, which makes no sense since they're not exactly raiding Gnoll encampments. Some people seem to believe that Gnolls live under the towns and spring up and are freed by the hordes, but that doesn't really track. But otherwise, you're not high enough to really know what those things are. Other than that, I don't think I have a whole lot else. Otherwise, slaves that seem particularly of a similar vibe are often freed with the promise of joining with the Gnolls, even if it's especially if they make promises of staying. They're big on promises. Again, despite their chaotic nature, they don't a promise they're very keen on, but they also don't make them lightly. And then finally, that they sound more aggressive than they are in most cases. Granted, they'll make it clear when they want something, and when that thing is something untenable, it means that aggression is pretty much guaranteed. Because again, the deal is the deal. But and they're not going to barter very easily, and you pretty much never can bribe them. That's what it.
Alrighty. Well, I'm not probably going to be able to sneak into their camp, so maybe we should just all go.
Yeah, I can cast invisibility, but if they got sniffy and sniffs, then they're gonna see through that.
Mm-hmm.
They probably speak common.
Yeah.
At least some of them. Some of them probably speak common, at the very least.
Or Ariani, whatever.
Some reason I thought I knew Null, but that's a different character, I guess.
Yeah, so I guess the question would be like, how would you draw attention to yourself? I suppose so. Determine there first. If you just want to ride up, if you just want to
fire a firework.
I'm on it, boss.
Flare.
I mean, I'll probably ride up on Char, just because.
You just load up some like arcane music. I can't remember which ones make you play music, and then you just start playing Foyer Fry. What?
Get some
Couple
dancing
Gnolls
lights.
headbanging.
I could just start playing the Are You Ready to Die?
A couple Gnolls are just
That must
headbanging
have-
to the music.
I said the wrong message though.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I guess we'll follow.
Uh,
The char's honestly big enough that most of us could probably ride on them if we really wanted to.
I don't know if you have a way to attract attention. Imagine just riding into the gate.
I mean, I got a gun. That'll attract attention.
That's true. We got guns.
Just the American greeting, just full auto into the air. All the bolts come down around us. Clearly not hitting us.
Right.
Just tell us what do you think would be a good attention thing? Maybe if you tell us what you think would be a good thing, we can think of that idea.
I don't know. You got any of those like spells that make your voice louder, or just like call out to them or something? I don't know.
Message.
Message. I mean, that gets one person's attention.
Real Wild Chefs, and we could always do a smoke signal.
That's true. Was like building a small fire is pretty easy.
I could do a ghost sound, but that's very short range. They'd already see us at that point.
Well, let's try to get, I guess, a patrol, the smoke signal. Maybe we can deal with them without having the whole camp there.
Yeah.
Do you want to give me a survival?
Oh, we're all really good at this.
Yes, this is why we had a guide.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Worst case scenario, I can just fire a lightning bolt in there. They'll clearly see that.
11.
Like 120 foot
Luckily,
line.
Smoke signal's not hard. Just without a smoke signal kit, it's a little hard.
Guys, I can make a smoke signal. Fireballs at our feet.
Suddenly, a lot of glass, no smoke. The desert's weird, guys.
Yeah, that's right. Terrible thought, but I'm not going to say out loud.
You want to inspire the GM? Don't put that evil on me.
Don't you put that evil on me?
Where's my
say the evil thought.
He's not gonna. No, I'm gonna live in agony. God damn! I hear it. Don't even bring it up.
I'm getting a DM.
Nah, I changed my mind.
No.
Sorry, I'm opening a painkiller. Well, thanks. My carpal tunnel is acting up, so I'm taking a painkiller.
Oof.
Yeah, it's irritating.
That's not fun.
Nah, it's not. Luckily, it's not major. What are you giggling at? Well, as you guys go and do it, there's a little bit of a moment where you start the blanket on fire as you wetten it, and then send a bit of a smoke signal. But it isn't long, and you guys do get the first indication as you first hear some chittering that seems loud and intentionally loud. As at first you think it's just some of the hyenas, but you realize that that's actually them calling out, and what it effectively amounts for not like a major alarm, but definitely a sort of "hey, look over there" sort of. Before, as you guys go to the top of the hill that you're kind of making it behind, trying to peek, and you'd see that sure enough, it seems that a group is moving this direction now. It seems that they are maintaining their outer patrol, just letting that patrol does seem to be doubling back now to kind of recover the area in between you and it. But it seems that a different group is coming out this way. As you'd see that a couple hyenas seem to be leading the pack eagerly, kind of running out this direction. As there seems to be actually there are 3 of them, as well as then there seems to be a total of 5 gnolls coming this way.
Just before they get here, I'm gonna quickly dab comprehend languages on myself.
Dab.
I can imagine that you apply your own spells like perfume.
dab, little perfume bottle of magical runes.
Okay, who here does speak Gnoll? Just so I know. I mean, I'll probably still just roleplay it out since I know Nikki does.
Well, I don't actually. No, I don't speak Gnoll. I thought I did, but that's a different character.
Right, but I mean, who understands it? So I know who can respond to stuff.
I can understand it, but I can't speak it.
I do not.
No.
Okay, good to know.
How do you not speak Gnoll, Tev?
Why would I speak Gnoll?
Lamash too.
I speak Abyssal.
I speak all of the elemental languages.
It's one of those things where I'm pretty sure I forgot to take languages, but it's a little too late. Just be like, oh yeah, no, I know.
But you see, as one of the hyenas, as soon as it makes eye contact, or not eye contact, but does see you specifically as they were running this direction, it seems to pause and lets out a bit of a baying howl. Um, Seems like it draws more of the camp's attention. As you can see, other gnolls kind of moving in this direction, but they don't seem to be deploying out. A couple gnolls seem to be kind of ordering them back, but it definitely seems like the camp's on a bit of an alert. But in any case, the squad moving up to you, you can see they're wearing some red cloth and some. They have like the left sides, like kind of like a gladiator, is more heavily armored than their right. They seem to be holding on their right some whips, and they have some manacles hanging from their belts, and quite a few jangling pieces to their armor, as well as what look like spiked fist guards on their scimitars, as they definitely have them out. But these gnolls do seem to be a bit more. I mean, they seem, as much as the gnoll you met in the merchant camp seemed very big for a gnoll, these ones also seem very large, seem very muscular. They definitely seem to be stronger than most gnolls that you've likely met, if you've met any. But definitely seems like they've probably received some blessings or attention or have some very good help in this area. Or maybe just living in the wasteland makes them tougher. But they definitely seem to be a head bigger, i.e., almost all the gnolls here on the side of large, and a couple of them are large.
Nice.
You realize that the white and black one you saw is probably a runt, despite the fact that she is very clearly larger than most gnolls in Tefu and Wati.
Interesting.
But as soon as they get close, you'd see first of all the hyenas. The one that bayed stays a bit back and is running to catch up to its fellows. The other two clear the top and kind of skid. And as soon as they see Char, they kind of skid a bit, but they start just start barking in your direction, chittering a bit as one of them goes to circle, as the other seems to be a bit intimidating. The third one joining and also barking, but the gnolls don't seem terribly alarmed just yet, but they definitely seem to hurry up to a bit of a trot as they do spot a couple of you peering over the lip of the dune. But seeing that you don't seem to be preparing an attack, they don't seem to be launching right into it, but they definitely still have their whips out. Their hands are on their scimitar. Well, the scimitars don't really lead either, so the scimitar is lowered. Mankind, come out and speak! What are you doing skulking near our camps? You hear one of their voice. Really only unique. The rest of you just hear the kind of the baying, barking noise of Gnoll.
They want to know why we're near their camps. Skulking, as they put it.
Suddenly, you guys there's only a brief pause. You guys would see as two of the gnolls kind of looked at each other and looked frustrated among the five, as one of the other ones in the back, a female with a similar it seems to say, almost the same thing. Mankind's, we order you to come out. We know you're skulking near the camp. She's speaking in Osirian.
I wouldn't say skulking. We made a signal to show we were here. Hello.
They kind of middle about, but they definitely, hearing you, they kind of move up a bit as they not, I don't want to say surge, like they're not like coming out to attack, but definitely kind of rush up to get to the peak, and they kind of straddle the top with a sword out, kind of pointing in your direction. But looking among your group, they kind of just look about and then just. I would ask for the better of diplomacy or an intimidate at this stage. I know it's a funny ask, but basically, either how friendly do you look or how scary do you look?
Yes, I will.
From Dev or as a group?
As a group, all of you can roll one, especially if they think you look weak.
Oh, dip. That's that's just like the worst Dev could do. Hide diplomatic characters. Jeez. Angel's in streaming. I can't help him out with that either.
I can try to help.
My natural one's not going to kill.
Oh, okay.
Oh, geez. Apparently, my natural 20 is just barely better than Deckel's natural one.
That's pretty amusing, actually. Yeah, no, they don't actually seem to. They keep the weapons out, but they do kind of lower the whip from a ready position as they just kind of hold the blade point down. The female that spoke seems to back off as the male that spoke originally seems to be switching to a siren, but she makes a kind of motion, and the hyenas kind of cow, and the one that was circling around back of you suddenly trots back around to them, and they move back behind the group, still watching you and panting and looking vicious. Otherwise, the male that spoke seems to just kind of square up and look at you all and just kind of exhales loudly, kind of folding one arm over his chest.
Ah, yes. Greetings. Sorry for the unannounced visit, but we seek to bargain.
He kind of looks between you all, and then just there's a little bit of a small that crooks, and he's like, "We have the good ones. You know where to find."
The good ones.
He kind of raises an eye ridge and just kind of, "There's only one thing that mankind's come to know kinds for."
Human resources.
Yes.
Is that what humans call them?
Maybe.
Wait, they're not humans. He just kind of looks back and
So
Humanoid resources.
well, most of what he appears or are humans I'm speaking of, and he points at you and just you just hear the female. Anyways.
Yes. Specifically, your most recent acquisitions. We one of them was in our employ. We kind of need them back.
He kind of just exhales again, just looking at you.
Uh, yes, I describe our guide to them.
As you describe it, he seems rather uninterested in the description as he looks at you and just kind of runs to just see. Slaves run 10 silver on in your lands. We charge 5.
That seems.
I mean, that's maybe we should go browse. Actually, if that's the prize.
At least I think slaves are only kind of hate dealing with it, and like But let me say something. But I think slaves are only 10 silver. It's like they're not expensive.
I know that's.
It's a horrible concept, but
I mean, it depends. I think they're normally more expensive than that.
Oh, 100 gold. Yeah,
Yeah, I
okay.
was
And then
gonna
it's
say.
75 gold for a standard one, and then okay. And then specialized 500, 100 gold for a slip. Household, like basic tasks is 50.
Hmm.
So yeah, he'll just go with that. Just the baselines are 50 but we haven't ranked all of them, especially the new ones. If you want them so badly, you may take them, but you will pay.
Uh, that doesn't sound too bad, actually. Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, it's
So we
worse
have
than
to come fetch them ourselves.
I will take you in. We will
Alrighty.
bring you in.
After you then.
The female comes up and just see the desert is hungry and thirsty work. We have food if you wish. You get the feeling she's not offering it out of hospitality, but probably more sales.
Well, we might have to take you up on that barter as well.
See what you got.
Most of their food, as you walk in, you realize that they have quite a bit of large animal shanks, and you recognize a couple large bug shanks as you realize that they've been eating pretty much anything that's not like the poisonous bug that you fought.
Hmm.
But pulling you back. Oh, damn! I'm just gonna look up something. Fuck, what was it? Oh yeah, that's what it was. Were you looking for just human resources as he looks back towards Griark, or were there other things you were seeking? We don't specialize in others, but that isn't to say our merchants are bereft.
I mean, if you have things for sale, we can take a look.
Yeah, to which he detours as you see a couple of the cages as he goes to point at a couple of the cages have newly trained ones from their camp. Of those, he points to one that he does seem to recognize the one you're looking for. But otherwise, he leads you over to one camp where you'd see that there is a hooded, looks like a female knoll that seems to be arranging some trinkets. He reaches down to a little clay urn and holds it out to you. Do not open unless you wish for a very painful experience and potentially dangerous, and then you will owe me gold. In this, though, are reaching vines, special seeds from a special plant in the wastelands to the west. Binds well with flesh.
Interesting.
He kind of looks around a bit as he suddenly makes a bit of a whistle in a barking order. As you'd see, one of the sentries seems to just take out their spear, and as they go to kind of flip it in their hand, suddenly they seem to lash out with what looks like what seems like they have a whip on their hand, until you realize that it's coming out of the backside of their wrist. And they just kind of whip their spear back to them. You can hear as he rattles it. Painful but useful.
That's pretty neat.
His ears perk as he looks at you and grins. He looks around at hers and then leans over and reaches back to pull out a box. And she seems to just kind of be watching him, but it's clear that she trusts as far as that he's just helping her sell. But as he opens up a box and pulls out, you'd see as he pulls out two crescent-looking blades as they hook around far.
Oh, hello, Gabriel. Yes, pizza. I want pizza, now.
Pizza. Pizza would be lovely.
Sorry, I interrupted
Kind of low
you.
on groceries and kind of low on groceries, and I gotta wait for my EVT to recharge because it.
Yeah.
But as he taps one to the other, as he holds them and kind of actually whirls them a little in his hands a bit, as it's clear he knows maybe some weapon tricks with these types of they seem to be an advanced form of kukri. But otherwise, as he taps one to the other, and it's like this one for tracking, this one for killing. And he sets them back down as you see that they have some etching on the sides of them that seem to mark creatures that they've been used to hunt.
I mean, that could be useful to us.
Yeah, that seems like
How much
something
you-
that.
What are you thinking price wise?
I gotta double check how much these actual enchantments are, since Gnolls aren't exactly going to describe in detail what the enchantments are.
It seems like something a Moduet might like, unless you were thinking of something else.
Just generally useful. But yeah, she might like them.
Browser's being ring. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Cheese stuffed pizza. Gabriel, gonna make us hungry. How you doing tonight?
Okay, they're selling them as a pair. Wait, let me get the other one. Okay, so what he would be able to explain to them, and if he would let you look at them, is that they are fairly high enchanted, so they're a little on the expensive side, and he is selling them as a set, but or rather she is, and he's just selling on behalf of his clanmate here. But
Sure.
otherwise, the total for both of them is still fairly pricey because that would run 48,500. But what he explains them is you realize that those are highly enchanted. As he'd be able to explain in the way he's describing it in your guys' magic expertise, you realize that he's describing Huntsman and Exhausting on one of them, as the other seems to have Fate Stealing and Fervent, specifically for Osirian God. So it is a very fitting one in that case. However, it seems that both of them also bear for each one of them has as an immediate as a free action, but after the attack is rolled, may then use up a single round of Badger's Ferocity up to 10 per day. So they basically have like a mini keen on them. So they are very, very good, but very, very expensive.
Sorry, I'm just giggling like a child at Badger's Ferocity.
Eh.
Why? Badger, 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 or what?
Badger, 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 badger.
I don't know. My mind just went weird places.
I mean, they sound really
Hmm.
cool.
It's not cool. We might have to knock over. Or, I mean, not knock over. Explore and retrieve and properly archaeologically, preserve and sell to museums items we found within.
He kind of nods to go put him back. One of the other Gnolls just seems to be watching you and kind of whistles in an odd way.
No?
Yeah, sense motive.
Yeah, I mean, you're welcome to if you like.
Yes.
Yes, just making sure it's not like some sort of like, I don't know, untoward thingamajigger.
I think I might. when I'm alt tabbing through tabs and I find a funny one before where it just puts out most Lovecraftian should have a Boston accent. Oh my god, it's a monster from beyond the stars! So, let me put it to you guys this way with your roll. I'm gonna put this in the Mummy's Mask one. This might. This might be a little telling to the what you just found.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm sure that's fine.
Hey, he's not after you. It's fine.
Still, definitely something to keep in mind for later.
For those in the chat, just not left hanging, it's the I linked the death whistle from Puss in Boots. 2 crescent blades made for tracking and killing.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
It's like it's a knoll.
exotic gnolls.
I loved how they made Death in that one. I mean, I love most renditions of Death where he's not just Kirby scary.
Right?
You're not living up to the legend, Gato! Just like, oh, that was great.
Fortunately, we would have to gather more barter before that.
Yeah, he already was going to put it back, so it's like he's just...
Yeah, sorry.
It's said we don't... We're not merchants of a wide variety, a very specific. As he walks over to the cages, you see a couple with some lingering that seem to be standing more obediently as you get a bit of a faceful as but of what they do, but same time one of the others walking along you as he looks down and spots you're wearing a holy symbol, right, Dev?
Yes.
As you're walking along on his digital legs, he starts walking backwards as he looks down to you and just see the Wanderer in red. As he points at the little red like slash symbol.
Yes.
The one
indeed.
leading just a little cousin lizard girl.
Could say that.
How is? Should I not? As he kind of pauses and looks back at you. No, not pausing as walking, but just kind of loping step.
Say more than you know, as she's actually going to pull up her breastplate a little bit to reveal the Mashton scar on her stomach.
So just, or Krugen just as a draconic, look closer than cousin too.
Yeah, to which they kind of flex about and look and just what a good little cousin. The fanged lady would smile upon you. Well, it seems she already has.
Indeed.
The leader kind of pauses and just slow a little bit. He's like, you should show that to your cousins before dealing in gold. He doesn't say any further on that one, but makes you think that he might have offered you a discount on the blades if he had known.
Makes sense.
I will keep that in mind.
As you get over to the one cage that he's leading you to, you see that there's a couple gnolls sitting down, as it looks like they have three of the people inside. Some seem to be standing defiantly, but others seem to be talking, and you can see standing with her arms kind of on her elbows and looking a bit haggard and very stressed as your guide. As you get closer, you realize that it seems that there are a couple friendly-er gnolls that seem to be speaking Osarian. It seems like they're interviewing the slaves to find out what they're good at. Some of the gnolls seem to definitely have a bit more charismatic way of saying horrible things, and simply just say, well, if you like, it's clear that one of them is like just trying to like, well, if you tell us and we can make your life better and we can sell you for a better price, ensure that you're not put in a combat camp or hard labor, just it's clear they want them to share their skills, but it's definitely a bit of a
intimidation.
give and take.
Yeah.
Seems that she's in the midst of being, and seems like she's at least talking to them, but looks like a couple are standing defiant, and a couple less friendly-looking gnolls are just kind of there and being intimidating on that edge of it. But most of the gnolls seem to be aware of you being brought into the camp. But as soon as she spots you coming over, she seems to leave the gnoll talking to you as she moves to the edge of the cage and grabs it. The gnoll that was speaking to her just stands up as she dusts off her tail and just seems to walk in your direction, looking to the patrol leader, but just stays silent. He looks at her and just, what is the value of this one with your expert opinion? She looks back and just say, 100 gold at minimum. I don't know if she specializes better. Humans don't tend to value female over any male, so 100 seems reasonable. But the leader looks back to you, and there's a moment as he kind of raises an eyebrow at you, Devin. Also, you get the feeling that that first impression went well as he kind of, but you see his eye kind of glance towards your breastplate, even though you've probably re-released it to set it back down. 90 gold. And you can buy her. She's uncollared and unkept, but it sounds like you already had her. 90 gold, and we put this behind. No hard feelings on either camp.
I can agree to that.
Yeah, to which he holds out a large paw. This is basically, at first you think he's just waiting for the money, but you realize he actually is just waiting for a handshake.
Yeah, shake on it.
Yeah. To which he just pulls off a keyring and tosses it at the female Gnoll that was talking to her as she goes over. Some of the others move to rush the door as it's clear these are probably all captured relatively recently as the guards use the butt end of their spears to knock them back and they pull her out. The female holds onto her until payment is given to them.
Yeah, I will hand them 9 platinum.
Yeah, to which he takes it, just kind of shifts it with his thumb, and then clenches his claw, and then if there's anything else you need, then I advise you keep your pups escorted to avoid this in the future.
Yes, she was a bit of a scout, so fortunately she went ahead.
Even Bone Snapper scouts do not travel alone in the desert.
But
I have to keep that in mind going forward.
I think there was talk of food and drink available.
Yeah, to which he gives a nod. Which, yeah, again, given that you are basically a sister of the faith to them, even if you're not wearing a holy symbol of it, it seems now the talk of gold. They allude that if you want to trade anything for it in fair trade, they're not going to say no, but they also just come over with some. It seems that they have offerings of both raw and cooked meat, since some of them Gnolls seem to like both. But almost all of it is meat, and then they have some fresh water out of the river. You do see some signs of like wine and stuff like that, but it doesn't seem like they're opening it. Seems like they save it.
Makes sense. Trying to get my character sheet to respond. I thought I had something. I already used that. Thought I had wine, but I mean, did any of your fellows enjoy coffee? As she pulls out some grinds.
A couple of Gnolls seem to have tried it. The not the female who was doing the interview, but the one who was on the patrol gives a bit of a nod. It just seems to mutter that the smell is the best part. Seems like a lot of them agree to that, but yeah, if you're offering coffee, they seem excited.
Yeah.
God, caffeinated Gnolls.
If you have any heated water, otherwise we can heat some.
To which a couple of them come over with a couple of kettles to just toss onto one of the spits. Your guide mutters that she was glad that you guys showed up tonight, as it seems that generally at the end of the night they do a bit of a ritual, and most of the slaves who have been here at least tonight have been marked, male or female, are generally marked with the mark of Lamashi, but you got here quick.
Well, I'm glad that we were able to locate you quickly as well.
Yeah, apparently with cultists, they don't really see a problem in doing that.
Just say like privately to Dev, like it's a pity we can't do something about the rest of them, but I don't think we got the capacity to take them back to town either.
I mean, she looks at the guide. We are still missing a driver. Is there anyone that think would be helpful?
That's fair.
She pauses, and actually hearing you say that, she's like, "Hey, I think there's a few people that would probably be able to drive a cart. It's not hard labor, and some decent folk. And B, before you worry too much about that, not like we'd have to bring them back to Tefu."
Well, of course.
She actually points a little bit over towards the south, what you realize is the southwest, as she. The city of Ipek is about 45 miles to the southeast.
It's doable. Might hurt coffers a little bit, but it's not a bad deed.
Yeah. I mean, we still had a pile that we hadn't spent, right?
Yeah, around like 9 grand.
How many were in the new acquisitions?
Total of 12 that haven't been trained.
Yeah. Once we get the coffee and have some meat, we'll probably bring it up to the pack lead or was he like a
He's a scout leader.
scout leader?
The pack leader is in the main camp.
Gotcha. How much would it be if we just wanted to take the lot of new ones off of you before any work needs to be done on them?
He kind of crouches a little bit and looks between them, as it's like he seems like he's doing some judge. You get the feeling that not all of them have been judged for their value or not, as he seems to be. It's clear he doesn't know what a utterly fair price is, but at the same time, he's not unreasonable to think that he won't do it as 75 platinum pieces. Should cover diamonds in the rough as well as ones that probably are worth less than they look.
That's fair.
And he does show that he probably heard you maybe muttering a little bit as he holds up a finger, and every other one of these is marked. If that's going to be a deal breaker, or worse, as he seems to gesture to his blade, then we should deal with that first. It seems like he's worried that you're about to like smite him for doing that, but
I mean, I'm used to this sort of thing.
to which he just gives a nod and then just goes back to him and then holds out his claw again for another handshake.
Yeah. Shake on it.
Yeah, to which, as he barks out some orders in Gnoll, which you would understand as he actually is telling them to get out, and they're going to go with the let's see, the Lurian?
L'Oreal?
Don't know if I ever made a term for someone who worships L'Oreal. Like like a Lamash term.
Probably it's probably in the dock somewhere.
But I know that there's a word for the worshippers that's not her name, but but in any case, as he does seem to order them fed and watered for sounds like they're going on a trek.
Grick will dig into, I think Hobbs actually had the haversack with all the money in it, so I'm just gonna dig into Hobbs' haversack and get the money out for them.
Yeah.
Was
As
I
you
the one carrying the ship with all the money?
You had one with a shit ton of money, and like I think there's a shotgun in it too.
That's what Hobbs was like, "Oh no, I lost." They're just kidding. That's me.
I lost all this money. Oh.
I don't ever remember putting a haversack on my character. But yes, I'm totally carrying
you definitely
all the
had
money.
your head on there somewhere because I took stuff out of it before.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Definitely there. Don't worry about it. Moving on.
Okay.
Otherwise, yeah, talking with them, they feed and give them drink and even give a little bit of desert clothing for them where they normally. It comes clear that they were actually like, not that it's really that respectable, but they were looking out for their health and basically point out that that the sun is, it'll be a hard trek for some of them, so they give them like some linens to cover themselves. And it's very clear that the niceties that they're doing is only because that you showed the mark.
For the value, yes. Oh, that nicety, yes.
There is something else would be interested in buying from you.
They pause and look to you.
Information. You must know these deserts fairly well. Any, maps or guidance to what's in the area, that kind of thing would be useful information.
What are you looking for?
Tombs, ruins, that kind of thing.
One of the slaves, as they're being lined up into a little grid of 4 by 3, one of them kind of just why is everyone after tombs?
Money?
Well, we have a few reasons, to be honest, but
You might want to give me a sense motive.
Had no shit.
oh,
I roll 20 go. You can hear it rolling. Where is it?
roll 20.
Ooh,
There it is. Okay. Okay. So the most I can tell you is that slave definitely seems to have some business with somebody looking for tombs recently. Or rather, that captured person. They're not really a slave, but
Well, we just bought them. No, I'm kidding.
Jeepers,
I mean-
Dark.
technically correct. The best kind of correct.
Mhm.
Why, have you heard others asking around?
And she kind of shifts a bit and just heard nothing. I was visiting with some of the as the Tefu would say, exotics. The not little, adult, but Osirian woman kind of shifts, and I was part of a caravan that was visiting a hive in the Badlands, and all I know is they came under attack, and I know that from what it sounded like, a lot of the bee women said that something horrible had happened, and they lost connection, as they said.
Not the 3A.
They said, knowledge local could assist you again.
We heard about 3A in the area.
You did. But don't know where the hive's at.
But otherwise, from her descriptions, it sounds like they were attacked by people in gold masks.
Yeah, shit.
All they know is that the attack seemed to go very poorly for the 3A. She doesn't know if any of them survived, and as she fled the hive, she was captured by the Gnolls.
Also, sound like you're gonna say something, Koala?
No, I was just gonna ask if I can roll it when it was untrained, but for
You might. You mind? You can always roll. It's just that means the max you could ever get is a 15.
well, it might be better than them, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Sounds better than us.
Yeah, from the way she's describing it, you'd know the 3, and the way that she's talking about the one. From what you know of them, Hobbs, is that they share that 3 are one of the few races that are biologically psychic, connected to their queen. They are almost always at war with a similar race of ant people called Formians, but Formians are generally a bit more cruel to all races, whereas 3A like to harmonize. Apart from the fact that 3A have a very vicious breeding mechanism that some societies hate them for. But I don't know if vicious is the right term, but carnivorous. I don't even know if that. Anyways, but point being is that from what it sounds like the which you assume to be the cult, the Forgotten Pharaoh, attacked them and killed their queen, which would have explained the disruption that she's describing.
I don't think they would have done that for no reason.
Oh, they probably
Well, and
thought-
the way she said it is that they were looking for a tomb. They seemed the one that she saw was demanding that info from one of the three who helped her escape. She hit him in the back of the head, and the 3A escaped that one, but then was caught by another of the cultists before, as then she was able to escape. But then she thought she was caught by a cultist when it turns out to just be a Gnoll who, as far as the Gnoll even explained that he had stalked the cultists, realizing they were going to attack the 3A and thought he would pick up some stragglers, be them cultists or otherwise.
Yeah, the cultists probably aren't the best slaves.
Also, they're enemies of ours, so.
To which she gives a nod. She's like, "Oh, I hope you teach them a lesson. They killed a lot of 3A I thought were quite kind."
If they're investigating up there, we probably should too.
Yeah. Like a next stop then?
Depending on how close it is, yeah.
If you give her a map, she's not good at explaining without a map where it is, but she can explain the path that her caravan took.
Yeah,
She
I'll show her
remembers-
the one we've been working on.
Alright, let me get on my map and see where it is. Oh my god, so many libraries. This is I'm scrolling around.
Although we probably have to visit the city first.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be a good first detour.
To which she'd be able to explain to it that it's very well hidden. But she knows it's there, that it basically took a little bit of searching even for her caravan who knew where it was supposed to be. I.e., it's a hidden landmark, so it's very hard to find normally. But with her giving you a location gives you a +10 on finding it.
Nice.
Let me see if I have a good token for this. Will work. There, should be able to see it there now.
Nothing new. Nikki, are you able to see?
Wait, what?
I didn't see anything new. Can you see it?
Yeah, it's over here where Hobbs is.
Ah.
Oh, okay.
Just north of the
North of
Over.
Hobbs. Gotcha.
It's technically east of Hobbs.
Like, I got so startled as I was like near Hobbs.
Yeah,
Like, wait, what?
there's a beehive on you, Hobbs.
Oh no.
Twilight runs through that escape room with the gun.
That was so much fun.
Long story short, Hobbs triggered a part of the escape room that opened when all of us were staring at him. So he turned around and it was a skeleton in a coffin. It's like, Jesus.
It was
Now-
great because the clue was they gave you a fake gun and said, like, whatever was sound or whatever neighbor heard 2 gunshots outside, and I grabbed the gun and I went, finally, I can shoot someone with this. And then I ran outside the door that everyone was standing in, fired twice, and there was a coffin behind everyone that just slowly opened. And I went, hey guys, you should probably turn around. And they turned around, and one of the people in our group just screamed.
Nice.
It was great.
It really was.
Also, Gabriel has returned with shrimp kebabs. I hope you brought enough to share, Gabriel.
Yeah, if you don't have enough to share with the class, you're not allowed to eat inside the.
What was it? That gif I saw where it's like it because her name was Bat and it was like Batathin or something like that. Batathin, did you bring enough to share with the class? He starts eating all the gum real fast. Sees him.
Chewing gum online, are we? No. All right. Yeah. Oh, we have a new thing to check out. Like it's a ways up there. Badlands, as they called it.
Thank you.
Yeah, judging from what you know, one of those are very hard to cross, especially with caravans, so you might be better going around.
Makes sense.
But yeah, the Cybers don't have any. As you guys are eating and drinking and enjoying coffee, another one of the Gnolls comes up as he seems to be a bit of a wiry one. But he seems to have a lot of vials and stuff on him. As he kind of like, you see that one of his legs isn't great. Doesn't look like he's going for pity. Just looks like he's got kind of a bum leg. But otherwise, as he comes up and starts offering and showing some different potions, you do see one that he shows off as he seems to call it a bottle of shifting sands. Just seems to be a little porcelain, like it looks like it's made to be broken. As he offers it and shows it, but it seems like he's asking for, let's see, that would be 685 or 680 gold. I think that'd be the 75. Sorry, brain. No, 675.
What does it do?
Which, as you see, as he goes to drink a potion, as you realize he's some sort of alchemist, and you'd be able to recognize without, as he's not casting on any of you and taking his time to cast, as you realize he's using a major image. As you see a little ghostly image of him as he goes to throw it, and then as it hits the sand, suddenly the sand just makes this kind of warping noise. It's this kind of like this, and the entire sand seems to turn into a bit of a, it looks kind of like an antlion sort of cone, as it just sucks downwards and makes a churning, shifting sand in a 20-foot spread. It just seems, and then you see as he seems to make a little image of some, looks like just some poor person just, help me, just getting sucked into it. Then he just grins back at you. Looks like he's missing teeth on the left side of his fangs.
I see. It's like a pit, but sand.
He gives a nod.
I mean, that could be. I mean, it's probably worse than the pit spells if you think about it.
Or you get stuck down there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, as he's using the same illusion, doesn't take another cast, he shows himself as he goes to take it and breaks the bottle over his arm in the illusion. And you see suddenly as the sand just whirls around and he vanishes from view. The sand is very clearly a sand tornado, but otherwise he just kind of smiles. But it seems like it lasts for about 8 seconds and then vanishes. And then shows him just standing there and shrugs it. The little illusion of him shrugs.
What do you think about that, Hobbs? Think that'd be a good purchase?
A single use, right?
He gives a nod.
Maybe not. I don't know. That's one I'll think about, but probably not.
It might be like if we're being chased. Well, then again, we're like a large group. If we get chased, we can't really easily throw it behind us.
If we're being chased, I have a bunch of different stuff for that.
True.
Yeah, we've come up across that already.
Fireball, gust of wind, lightning bolt. Like, I have things to stop us from being chased. It's just like a one-time
Lightning
potion.
bolts. Long and dangerous.
Indeed.
Huh,
You
see?
can-
Man.
How much you say it was?
He pauses and looks at you, and then 675, 600 or 67 platinum pieces. Seems like he gives you a little bit of discount, as he seems like hopeful to make a sale.
I mean, I'm willing to. Yeah, I'll buy that. I'll buy it for myself.
There you go.
Junchi looks pretty happy as he holds out the bottle for you.
Thank you. You never know when something like this can come in handy, you know?
True.
Yeah, to which he explains, and it's clear he actually knows a fair bit about magic, especially for a Gnoll. But he points out that it's not an illusion, it's not like it is a full transmutation, so it should work on most everything, and doesn't rely on any, like, devils should be just as susceptible as anything else, even if they are Unless they can glide through the earth, they're going to fall just like any other. Unlike other spells, and then he says, or like Tanglefoots, which sometimes they can be immune to.
That's true.
He does remember to make sure that you're putting that he just points out it works very well on sand and works fine on anything that would be considered earthen or stone, worked or not. But it won't work on metal or wood.
Gotcha.
Dirt it will function on.
Yeah, I think it's a worthwhile purchase. I mean, because like we run into stuff sometimes, and like sometimes you just want to make a whole bunch of people go away at once.
Right? Sometimes you just want to get revenge on that antlion.
I don't think it'd work on Antline very well.
Probably not, but
But like a bunch of asshole cultists.
You know what else works on a bunch of asshole cultists?
I realize Fireball works on a bunch of asshole cultists. Thank you.
yes.
Even the alchemist chuckles at that and nods.
You've made
Like,
it clear that it's useful for everything.
Yeah. True. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad purchase. Like, I'm just saying I wouldn't have purchased it.
Done now.
The alchemist does kind of shift over and sits by you, Hobbs, and just see, you fireman.
I am fireman.
Kind of a lot of man at the moment.
Yeah.
He kind of shakes his head and just said, no, Genie. As he points at you, it seems like he recognizes what you are. Genie man.
Yes. Yes.
He kind of gives like a kind of an interesting little, like not quite like the finger to finger, but definitely a little fidgety. It's like, do firemen, watermen, such ever Gnoll? Seems like his Osirian's not great.
Do I have to really? What do I have to roll to decipher what the fuck he's trying to say to me?
Nothing because
now.
he luckily as you kind of give him a quizzical look, maybe that like slow blink, the major image lasts for him like hours. So it's like he shows you kind of waving, and then shows him just kind of waving, and then shows him as looks like an Ifrit version of a Gnoll. Seems like he's curious if there are Ifrit Gnolls.
Oh. Now, I, the player, don't know. Would Hobbs know if
yes, you would know because like your family and stuff knows, and you would be aware of your own culture to a degree because you also have some relevant knowledge as that.
Okay.
So you would know that yes, you basically as an out of character thing, you can choose what your baseline race is. The standard is human, but you could be like an elf Ifrit, you could be like a Gnoll Ifrit. He just seems genuinely interested.
Oh,
Like, it doesn't seem like it's envy. It doesn't seem. It just seems like he's just a curious academic.
Oh, in my mind, Hobbs is actually like, I think in my mind he was like part half elf or like elf or something like that. That's why.
Yeah, that works fine.
Yeah. So, yeah. Of course, there's a bunch of us, a bunch of different kinds. Can I try to do? Wait, how does this work? I need to read how a thing works. 1 second, please.
Be right back, bio.
Okay.
DM.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
coin of the untrodden road.
Mm-hmm.
Could I flip that and try to make myself a Gnoll Ifrit?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, I want to do that.
Yeah.
It can be used 3 times per day. I want to show him. I want to like show him a physical representation.
Yeah. You give the Gnoll. You show the Gnoll the coin and then give it a little flip. He watches you flip it, and as soon as you catch it, he's watching your hand as he just sees like a little shimmer of probably like little flaming fur and stuff like that as he doesn't realize that you've changed utterly. But then as soon as he looks up, you see his half broken jaw kind of like just parts as he looks very both surprised and a little bit giddy as he kind of looks at you and looks you up and down and kind of like lifts your arm to look under you as he can tell it's magic. You can tell from his like he's not mystified by magic, but he definitely seems excited.
Your fur looks kind of like Char's now.
Buddy.
But he does. So,
I give him a big toothy smile. Just like, yeah, I mean, technically speaking.
He just kind of grins and goes to sit down next to you, and just kind of, you look much better as Nullkind.
Oh, I think I look pretty good as I was, but I'll stay like this for now. I think I do look very nice.
He does give a bit of a nod, and like it seems almost like you look fine as he does say mankind, as you realize that he probably doesn't see a huge difference between humans and elves, but just as he just kind of grins.
Yeah.
Gnolls good, strong, hard to kill.
Do Gnolls have tails?
Yeah, they can. They don't all have tails.
Does that one have a tail?
Yeah, he has a tail.
Is it wagging like fucking crazy right
Probably,
now?
yeah. Probably. He's excited. I'd say you tell there's definitely some sort of ulterior. Like he doesn't seem like he's like directly like he's interested in you, and doesn't seem like he's like macking on you entirely. So like maybe a little. Like there's a little bit of riz, but otherwise it seems like there's something else that he seems like this seems to have made him excited about. But
the riz is strong with this one.
I mean, I would say that it wouldn't take much probably to let's just say make that Gnoll pretty happy if that's your goal. But I mean,
hey, we'll see how the night goes. A lot of tail thumping.
Big question: is your tail wagging?
It's a slow wag, but it's wagging.
But yeah, despite their diabolical nature, it actually seems like a fairly pleasant night, which is a little odd to say, but all the same. The slaves seem eager to leave, but realizing that it's like, well, it's probably not a good idea at night for you as it is for them to move at night.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I just realized if I used the coin and turned myself into a kitsune ifrit, I could be a firefox.
And you could eat all the memory.
Yeah. Why is your fur color chrome? Because I want you to have no memory. Damn it! If you're a bard, you have to name yourself Chrome, and the only spell you know is Modify Memory.
Good lord. And then you just take all the memories for yourself?
Yeah.
It's my memory. What are you even doing with that memory? It's my memory!
It's my memory now. You'll never get it back.
Unless you kill me. If you kill that process, then you'll get it back. Temporarily. I'll get a res.
I know I'll come back. I always come back.
Yeah. Nobody wants to live on the edge.
I appreciate that joke.
Sorry, I'm a little slow to pick up that joke.
Because nobody used edge.
I know. I was being an internet explorer.
Ah, yes.
Hey guys, I think we're making browser jokes. Just kidding.
Yeah. Hey guys, did
you know?
No, I'll refrain from making the joke. I was gonna.
Low browser humor.
Boo.
Well, I suppose. I don't know if anyone else had further business.
Not really. I guess we never heard if they knew any like tombs or stuff around the area.
No, the only real intel is from the slaves. They don't really.
Gotcha.
I mean, apart from they would know about the Tomb of Apep, but you already have that info. They know about the Singing Storm, you already have that info.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They'd be able to warn you the same thing you've been warned, is that the rock that you saw on the other side of town does nest somewhere in the western area. But they don't know where it nests. And yeah, you could leave in the night, which would gives you a bonus on like any sort of fortitude rolls over the course of the day, but does make navigation harder. So
Yeah, I mean, well, we all see in the dark. I doubt any of our new friends do, so.
Yeah, same time, not entirely sure I want to sleep here.
What are you afraid of? You could wake
I
up a
think
Gnoll.
Don't think I'd wake up a Gnoll.
You actually hear one of the Gnolls and think that requires ritual.
True, true.
There's just a look from one of your other staff that are just like, what? But as they say that, you always had a couple of guards working with none of the patrols, but some of the security guards that are dressed in Gnoll-like armors, and even seem to have like a sort of headdress that you realize you thought in the dark they were Gnolls, but you realize are probably not Gnoll humanoids that seem to be dressed to look like Gnolls. At the same time, it was mentioned that capable slaves are often inducted.
Yeah.
Moreover, some interesting bits as you would see is some of the hyenas also seem to be given some sort of odd headdress and sort of ritualistic armor that looks kind of odd. But that's what the most you'll get.
Yeah. Not here to investigate all of their practices.
No, I figured you're not going to delve that deep into it, but unless someone's really interested in getting, I mean, on the other hand, it's like, I mean, not for nothing, but you could easily get as stated, like the crutch NPC could be like a Gnoll or a slave from this thing. So if you want that, then obviously personifying one that sounds like fun, then
Gotcha.
I know we were gonna have the conversation out of character, but at the same time, opportunities might occur. Like at the same time, if you go to the 3A hive, then it's like that means that 3A based characters could occur.
True, true.
True.
So if we're bringing someone in, we should probably talk to them about it.
Yeah, I think this is more if we did the NPC.
Right. I'm
Gotcha.
talking to the NPC and giving an in-character reason where they came from, and then also like you guys have to consider what you want. Like, would you want a tank? Would you want someone with some healing magic, etc., etc.? I'm not going to be building it to order, but
Yeah.
generally archetypes are what I usually ask people for. Or what role do you need covered? Like, you guys have low survival, so it's like, okay, maybe a survival-based character, or like, if you want a rogue for disabling traps, etc.
Yes, because I am extremely mid at opening traps.
Otherwise, I'm just going to make NPCs as I normally do, and then if there's any that are fitting, it's easy enough to grab. Like the alchemist that looks like something went very wrong with his face at some point in his life.
I don't have any specifics to go after right now.
Okay. If there are no other businesses, what time did you want to leave the Gnoll camp then? I'd assume early morning to get the jump on the sun, but
Yeah.
not early.
Gotta get back to the caravan.
True.
All right, that's 2 or 3. Hobbs, you good?
Yep, all good.
Okay.
I will
Yep.
give my new friend plentiful head pats before we leave.
Yeah, you'd find out over the course of the night that his name is Jacques, kind of like you're saying Jacques, Jhokke. But otherwise he seems very gregarious as far as Gnolls go. Over the course of the night, yeah, seems to really enjoy the coffee, and the coffee seems to have a very notable effect on him as he starts talking very fast. But yeah, found out that he's just a skilled and knowledgeable and quite intelligent, despite his not great speaking. Quite intelligent alchemist. Your sense motive, because I did have you rolled and it didn't roll high enough for me to outright say, but it did see, but just kind of what I said off the 10, which was basically that it seems like he had some other reason for wanting to know that, as it does seem like he has some sort of personal stake in it, but you aren't able to directly glean why, unless you want to try to ply him for detail, or otherwise, because could be stuff around the camp and such like that, but.
That seems up to Hobbs.
Yeah, I'd say it's primarily a Hobbs thing, since he's the one socializing with Joke.
I'm sorry. What's a Hobbs thing? What decision am I making here?
Which is alluding to the sense motive I'd asked for, and I said that you didn't really roll high enough to get the answer outright. So I basically said unless you want to try to apply him for the answer or search around the camp for answers, it's unlikely you'll get an answer on that one.
I can try to search around the camp for. I think maybe like asking around, maybe being a like part dog now might give me hopefully a slight benefit. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like they're terribly organized, so a few of them would definitely take note of you and think you're one of them as you get a lot more friendly regards, although your scent would give you away as they get close, as they seem a bit more confused. I imagine you'd be truthful to that degree.
I would be truthful, yeah.
But your initial encounter seemed to go way more warm. Like it becomes clear that, I mean, number one, it's just the mentality of the pack. It's like they think you're one of the clan, just one they haven't met, and an exciting looking one. But as soon as they realize that you're one of the outsiders who just looks like them, then it seems like they go back to pretty brusque. None really get offended that you're taking that form, though, thank goodness.
Mhm.
But go ahead and give me perception. I'm not going to ask for a stealth since they're not really stopping you. They're not really worried what you look at. Or I'll allow survival if it's better, but I don't think it is for you.
They're both not great.
Yeah, because they're both wisdom based, and unless you put a rank in them, they're going to be the same.
16.
That's actually pretty good. Looking through things and actually using your own arcane intelligence, you managed to find what you realize is Jacques' sleeping area, which is less of a tent and more just in one of the lean-to wooden structures that they have. But you'd recognize very clearly what is an alchemist lab. And number one, you would see that there's some things here that you could probably sticky fingers, but that might not be wise if you want to maintain a good connection with Gnolls, since you know they don't. Since what you were explained is that they're very much a, this is the deal, don't barter, don't But at the same time, conflicts are very personal to Gnolls, not whole camp. But i.e., basically, you see he has some completed potions, and if you want to be a dick, you could steal them. But otherwise, you also see he has a journal there, which might be telling. Seems to be his alchemist book, which not enough time to really scribe spells without his permission, but at the same time, generally they keep their personal notes in there. Could see if there's anything interesting.
Yeah, I'm not gonna steal the book. I'm just gonna try to do a quick glance through to see if anything pops out as important or interesting or what have you.
Yeah. As you leaf through it, you can see that there's definitely certain messages and different things that he writes about people of note and stuff like that he seems to enjoy, seems to be gregarious. You also find a entry that talks about how a certain large gnoll that was particularly defensive of another gnoll that he was that was the one that first knocked out one of his major fangs, and when he went back for a rematch, he proceeded to knock out all of his left side fangs. So it seems that was a tiff. You can't quite make out if it was over a girl or if he was actually trying to go for the guy, but judging from his behavior, it could go either way. But in any case, it seems like he seems, looking over it, it seems fairly good natured, at least. Like looking at it, you get the feeling that he's not like a skeeve. But otherwise, finally not near the end. It's actually further in from the end. As you leaf backwards from it, you'd see that he has a map of the area. But moreover, at the head of the river, you'd see as he has marked the map, and seems very it's quite a few notes. As you look over it, give me a knowledge planes. Seems
Finally.
Seems like he has quite a few notes and sketches and arcane markings, as it looks like he's working on a project that has to do with the head of this river. You'd be able to recognize that it seems to be an elemental binding. Like it seems like he's trying to undo some sort of elemental binding. It looks like, judging from the way he's written it, it seems to be notes that effectively in Aquan seem to be written of unbind these, or bound to stone, stay in this form, perform your role. It seems like these are things that wouldn't be written in a journal; they'd be written into stone. So you get the feeling he's transcribed them from something stone, and that it seems to be something binding and written in Aquan, which would suggest some sort of water elemental, especially with the river.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, which I'll mark on your map, this one, as that seems to be another area that, from major events, I've warned you that there are a couple more secret areas. That's another one.
Yeah, that might be something I might want to go visit, especially if it has something to do with like other stuff
Right.
of my. Yeah,
Seems like your new friend has the hots for a water lady.
either that or like there might be other stuff going on there. Like I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah, it's not far off.
Oh, I see it. Oh yeah, that is actually really decently close.
Yeah, you just have to convince your group to go off to that area, but
I don't think it'd be too hard. I think we'd be exploring that area maybe anyway. Hopefully, guys.
Yeah, it's kind of on the way up to where we need to go anyway.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna sneak out.
yeah, doesn't seem okay. I mean, a couple seem to notice that you went in there, but they seem to just kind of glance and doesn't look like you took anything, so they don't seem to care much.
Sounds good. I'm gonna go meet back up with the group. Hey guys.
Yo.
Would anyone be willing to stop by like a place that I read about in a book, totally with 100% permission?
Okay.
Sure.
I think it has like a water elemental or something that's like locked there. I want to
Yeah.
like check it out, see what's going on.
I don't see why not. You can fit it in with what we're doing.
I appreciate it.
So, how you liking your fur?
It's a little itchy. I don't fucking know how they deal with this all the time.
Pretty get used to it, I imagine.
Get someone to give you scritches.
Slowly leans my head towards you.
Aww.
Scritch, 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 scritch.
Immediately starts kicking foot.
I have practice.
That's true. She has char.
That is very true. Maybe I should try scales next.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe.
The two other party members with scales. Ears perk up. If we're going to visit it, it is to the northwest.
Okay.
We essentially just we have to follow the stream thing, stream lake thing.
Okay. Well, that's towards where we need to go for the 3A. But yeah.
You'll need to take a detour if you want to go to Ipec with all the slaves you just bought.
Yeah, we should do that first.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have to get that taken
So
care of.
drag them halfway across the map with there's supplies meant for less people.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like we're heading out to Ipec then.
Yes.
Keep
So I'm checking on. Okay, first of all, let's get a D100. Let's go with Dickle.
Diggle.
Thank God every time I rolled something bad happened to us.
I'm the only one that turns it over Velociraptor when I'm stretching.
73.
Okay. Go ahead and roll another for me, please.
Okay.
Because you had, like, you guys are crossing open desert at this stage, so you'll be able to cross 2 hexes.
Yes.
Gotcha.
52.
What'd you say?
52.
52. All right. Give me a second.
About 350.
350.
Tree fitty.
No, not that much. I can't speak. I swear to God. So, where'd that go? So as you follow the Crook River downwards, and you have a pretty quiet trip, traveling 20 miles or so, until you see a rather interesting sight. As you see the city of Ipek, as it seems to be just kind of risen on its own little like slab. It is like almost as if it were ready to fly out at a moment's notice. There's the river itself does turn a bit more sandy colored golden, as it has these sandstone walls and risen up, and then a large cathedrals. It definitely looks very self-contained. All the buildings look like they were made in the same moment. Knowledge history can assist you with this a little bit. But otherwise, I'll put this in the channel for you.
Ooh, did pretty okay.
Trained in history either, so I'm just gonna let them do their shit.
Oh wow, that's kind of funny. I went to look up something and then I found out that it's already in my Pinterest. That's fun. Oh, because I think someone's been here before. That's why.
Who dares?
Who disturbs my slumber?
'Tis I.
So, otherwise, it looks to be a pretty large city. You can go in there and replenish some supplies. Oh, yeah. Lower that, by the way. Oh, you got food for those ones. Actually, it only should be going down by 1. I just see that. Am I dead yet? It's all everyone hiding.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. Love it so much. Oh, I mean, I know you already did it a while ago, and I left it at Ben too, but you know.
Also, I'm sending you a quick video.
Ooh.
I love it. Okay, that was great. Just a high-pitched scream. All right. Sorry about that. So what you would know from your history check? Oh Jesus, yeah, geez, look at you two go. So you know Ipek has a rather famous history, as there was once a pharaoh who was between Osirian and brain is Starting the other country right there. Kadir. When they were one nation, it was said that he created Ipek, which is a very large city, almost a metropolis. It's the third largest city in all of Osirian, and that he made it in a single day. It was said that he had an army of Ifriti that he used to take over the entirety of both nations until the army was ripped away from him. But Ipek was one of the creations of that. So it said the city is perfectly formed and made to function better than almost any city in any desert around the world. But hence its very uniform make, and a lot of people are buying buildings out of the perfection that it was.
Interesting.
But as such, as the slaves are released, the city officials are happy to take them into their custody and help them find their way back to other cities where they may have been taken from.
Indeed.
The question would be if you're pushing for any sort of reward right away, or versus potentially down the line.
Mm.
I wasn't asking for anything.
I mean, the constables might reward us. Or maybe not, who knows? He was inquire.
I don't know. I didn't do it for that purpose.
Do before they all filter off. I was gonna say we should probably ask any of them if anyone, there is actually a good driver and would like to, sign on with us, considering we are down a driver.
Yeah, there you go.
We are now hiring.
We are now hiring.
By the way.
Hint, hint. We just saved your lives.
Work for your saviors,
Work first, coward.
Fuck you. Fuck me yourself, coward. No, it was go fuck yourself. That's what that goes to.
Yeah.
I always like that one. Yeah, among them you'd find two people that would function decently for a driver and would not take any more pay than normal.
Well, welcome aboard then.
Speaking of which, we're in town. I mean, I know it's not where we got them from, but we do have that corpse.
Oh, corpse. What?
Our driver.
The driver's corpse. The reason why we need a new driver.
Oh, yes.
Our old driver got hemi-bisected.
Yeah, there are harassments who will help inter them, or with some gold you can get them sent to their home city. In these ones cases, they were travelers that wanted to work as in a caravan, so their hometown isn't as big of a necessity, just as long as word gets out. At the same time, I know you were talking about potentially getting them a res. Or a reincarnate, more specifically.
Yes, we have spoken of such.
Because you had Virgoas snatch their soul and a piece of their body.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about sending a message to Sebti just to keep her updated what's going on. She did once comment she was going to keep a little, a small reserve of stuff to, for reincarnates, stuff like that. But that doesn't do us a whole lot of good if we're not in Wadi. So we could just ship the body there.
Yeah, that works.
I mean, Verloise also points out that she can always enter Visage, since her kind can enter the Visage of any other statues and then she could take something.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that would work.
She would basically act as a conduit for Subti to cast reincarnate through her image, and then her body would be here as she casts her image there.
It's pretty fucking cool.
And you don't even have to worry about hiring somebody.
All right.
well, assuming they turn into something that is functional as a driver. Suddenly they're just like ogre. Oh.
True.
But otherwise, one of the slaves that you free here does come back after you. Basically, you have to linger in the town more than just dropping them off, as it doesn't seem like there's.
I mean, we probably are because we can buy stuff.
Right. It's just if you drop them off and leave, then you don't. But let me get the thing up here. Where did it go? Where did I put it? There it went. So, with that, one of the slaves comes up as he would explain that to he and his sister, which are the people here, and that their father has a few magical tools that aren't the most amazing for adventurers, but you may be able to find use for them, especially in the desert. As he hands you a vest and what seems to be a singular white glove. Both of them, upon inspection, seem to glow with magic.
You can bang him. I think I can give him a glance at my goggles.
I mean, he'd be able to explain at least the baseline. He wouldn't know enough magic to explain. He knows that one of them is a vest that no matter what you go to build, it'll be able to give you the tools necessary to build or repair or handle things. Similar to any tool, but far more useful.
Ooh.
And then the other, I need to look up exactly how that one works. Basically, out of character one is I think it's called an all tools vest, where basically its function is that you give a command word and then say what type of skill you want to use, and it creates for 24 hours all the tools necessary to do that skill. Or you can say what you're trying to build, and then it'll even do multiple sets, everything you'll need to make that. And then they last for 24 hours or until someone else touches one of the tools. So it only helps you do it, but they do function as masterwork tools.
Nice.
And then, otherwise, the other one is a glowing glove. Which the glowing glove is a single white leather glove that you can press against a surface or an object to cause a luminous handprint to appear. It glows in any color you wish and sheds light as a candle and is easily visible from a distance of 60 feet. They last for one day before fading away. And they match your handprint in terms of size, position of fingers, and so on. And you can layer them. So you could basically write out, like, hi, Mom.
My thoughts was like just fucking red glowing handprints in somebody's house, like on the ceilings and walls.
Start writing terrible things on the outside.
Just really
Pig,
fuck
pig,
with
pig.
them.
Spider pig.
Start writing like things like that aren't true. He knows on the side of the building.
No,
We're watching.
you guys are thinking too much. Literally, it would just be middle fingers on every surface I can possibly touch. Just
How just slides the thing on Michael Jackson mode. Just time to. If every dungeon is just middle fingers.
Does it work on people?
Let's see. Any surface or object. So yes.
You want one of those glowing handprints on your ass, Red Dev?
Right? I mean,
Just
you
put
could
one
do
on
like
each.
a whole body
right,
paint.
juicy. Right, juicy on your butt.
It's a whole glowing body paint. Why
I'm thinking of drawn together when they use the black light. That was one of the characters. I'm a really friendly ghost, and it's like, oh my god.
not?
I mean, sheds light as a candle is pretty fun too. You can just be like, haha! Just slap somebody in the face. And that's the other thing too. It's basically infinite light spell that isn't tied to one thing, I mean, light is a torch. This is a candle, but
You touch the inside of their eyelids.
no. Oh my god! Satan.
their teeth. What?
My shiny teeth. I was thinking something even worse of just like putting like like haha they fell asleep first at the slumber party and then like writing tramp stamps on their back with the glowing
Then you
glow.
pull out the tattoo kit. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
They think it's just, oh haha, it's a glowing glove. No, man.
Yeah.
That's glowing ink. We made that one permanent. You what?
Wonderful.
It's a giant dick. I know. I made it. But yeah, they offer them to you and just kind of give you a bit of a bow before running back in.
Well, that was nice.
Yeah. That seems
Otherwise, it is a large city, so you could also find shops with cheaper certain items. And it does mean that a lot of items are going to be available here. And you can sell any loot you want.
Yeah, I can get some materials for enchanting stuff and like that. Cool stuff.
wonderful.
Yeah, if you want, I can make it. God damn, I missed my second monitor. I can usually put these side by side. Now it's just like, you bastard.
Just smacking around a little bit. I'm sure I'll just pop back to life.
I'm sure that's how it'll work.
Percussive maintenance.
Hey.
Going to pawns on it.
So I heard a hell of a hiccup a second ago.
Me, I'm dying. Don't worry about
no.
it. Keep going.
Hot Cheetos shrimp.
Yeah.
Gabriel is talking weird. I want a Dorito Loco Taco.
I had one of those Wednesday. Man, my recovery just all kind of like blended together. I just realized. You know how that is. Yeah, because I bought the my dad was gonna be right home and we stopped at Taco Bell and I got the gordita box and then I got extra Mexican pizza with it because I was like, I know I don't have groceries. This will be dinner and another meal, which it was. It was wonderful. They came with the Locos Taco. And I was really happy.
Nice. Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad, Gabriel. I guess it's deep fried shrimp and then it's covered in like the hot Cheeto stuff. That'd be fine.
I mean, I'm getting turned on to weird things lately with the. That could be taken out of context.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay, now if you want any of these would be discounted by 10% because these are the rolled items.
Clip that. You got the clip button, Gabriel?
But good foods because it started with the Dr. Pepper beans. The Dr. Pepper beans are awesome, and then it's like cherry coat. Like there's a cherry cola burger rub, and that's awesome. And it's like holy shit, this is all. It doesn't taste like the thing; it just tastes good.
Yeah. I made a Dr. Pepper jalapeno beef jerky. It was good.
Okay, I think I hit all the flavor ones that require me to add a little bit more, but that should be all of those. Oh, fuck. Okay, it's too long. Piece of shit. Oh. Well, that's right. Okay, just. That works. Oh, large city. Wait, why did IPEC get deleted? Top of it said IPEC loot, but whatever. Oh, it is in there. It's just.
Oh dear, elixir of love.
I didn't even see that on there.
Oh no.
I'm dying.
Oh yeah, when I was making the chemo, I was making jalapenos and I was seeding the pods and getting all the placenta out, and then I made the mistake not once, not twice, but thrice, where it was still on my fingers and I touched something I shouldn't have.
Oh no.
Once was my
Oh, no.
eye, and then I washed my hands after dinner, and then when I was sleeping at night, I scratched the side of my face and it burned like fuck, and then it was like and it was on a different hand than that I used for seeding, so I was like, what the fuck? And then the next morning when we were going to the con, my finger was burning like fuck, and I'm like, motherfucker. And I scrubbed the shit out of my fingers. Finally, it went away.
Yeah, some of those peppers are pretty pungent.
I like the chemo. It turned out well. People seem to like it.
It was very good. You made good dinner.
I liked the dinners. I think all the dinners were pretty good. I like the one Tanuki made, although I had to stop eating it because it had coconut in it, and I was like, motherfucker.
Oh no.
I don't know. The last dinner I ate was kind of subpar.
Look, we can get a flail that hides bodies.
I missed that one.
Actually, the dart
Hey.
is cheaper.
Were you guys? Oh, okay. I mean,
Some foe is knocked out, you're just like, dead.
Probably more likely to actually kill somebody with the flail than the dart though.
potion.
I heard ocean.
No, I know. I read potion.
Ocean was one of the dudes on the trip, and so I was like, ocean?
No, I was just reading the stuff you got here.
I know, I'm just telling Nikki and Deckle so they know.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the last dinner I had was McDonald's.
Oh yeah.
The Last Supper.
That's why I made the joke that the last dinner I had was kind of subpar because it was McDonald's.
McDonald's is what they do.
But I don't really see anything that I need.
Is there anything I need? Rhino or a
Something-
hide? Definitely.
Something you might want to look for, like an actual bag of holding. Haversacks are nice, but actually I think Cobbs has the ability to make one for us, which would be cheaper.
Blink, blink.
They have craft wonders, right?
Yes.
I love how you don't know you. It's like, I have abilities. I'm sure of them somewhere.
Yes. Yes. Craft Wondrous is one of those things that I do have.
Gotcha. So if we wanted to, we could just, literally for the price of buying a normal one, we could have Hobbs make a tier 2.
You fucking think I know anything that my character can do other than cast fireballs at people?
Me.
Literally, all I can do is throw
Sorry.
fireballs at
You have no other spells listed, just Fireball.
people. It's all fireball.
You got the
takes
third level, and
Fireball.
it's like, I don't need anything else.
Hobbs takes the higher DC to use Fireball to create the bag.
The bag of fire. You
It's just a-
can apply as much fire as you want for it.
Just a fucking bag of fireballs.
I know what he called the bag of burning sensation.
Nice. Yeah, I'm just saying, because we could just build one. That way we have, a good big old storage thing. And we have haversacks, and we're a pretty good set then.
Yeah, haversacks are nice because their mouth is larger than the haversacks. Bag holding are nice because bigger than the haversack mouth. Put more shit in it.
Holds way more, like 500 pounds for tier 2.
Yep. Tier 4s.
Oh, tier 4s are great. Portable hulls are amazing, but we don't have that kind of money on us.
Portable holes, you say?
Technically, we do, but
Let's drop an MTF squad in a portable hole, you say?
like, technically we could. It's just we don't have probably them available.
Alright. If you guys are good, we can head out of Vipec.
Yeah.
Sounds
We'll go to
good.
Nikki for travel rules.
Gotcha.
Assuming you save the night. Assuming you guys want to refill back up to 30 stores.
Yeah, let's fix
Yeah, that sounds
our
like a good idea.
storage.
So it was what, 10 gold a pop? So another 7.
Oh, wait.
Oh yeah, the reincarnate.
Reincarnate, yep.
Oh, yes. Right. Forgot about that.
See if we need a new driver.
Alright, so we'll have everybody do one. So we'll go in the order. Everyone need a D100 from everybody, including myself. I'll just go in the order as they come. 5. You don't know my standard reincarnate rules for anyone in the chat. Basically, I always have one that's on there that the person, and it's always the character gets to pick. Like, you can pick, obviously, as a player, like you know the choices, but basically, your character would see an option of 2. And then that race is left for whoever rolls a new one, basically. You can either take the one that's currently in there.
We've had some pretty wild ones left in there.
I mean, yeah, there was one part where there was a full dragon left in there and no one was taking it because they were like, it's going to unbalance things, and then finally someone took it.
Oh, my goodness. Hobbs. Might have lost to Hobbs.
No, I just fucking
Oh.
had a stroke and didn't know how to type.
Oh dear, that's not good.
I took my hands away from the keyboard and I put them back, and then it's that thing where like your fingers are one over from where they should be.
No.
Your reality comes crashing down around you.
Yeah, pretty much. But look, it's there now. It's all good.
Dogs and
I get
cats living together.
Mass anarchy. Ass manarchy. You shouldn't have laughed at that. That was a stupid joke.
My hand's not stopping to be achy. Yeah, so Verloise would cast her visage into one of these statues of her type of psychopomp back in Wati, allowing her to speak. Not that you hear her side of the conversation, as far as you see, is just her mask just seems to go dim. The lights in the eyes just seem to go out, but you can tell she's still breathing and just in a bit of a trance. But she has you.
Sorry. I just imagine Greer going, "Hi, Septi, can you hear me? Can you hear me?"
Hey!
I can't hear anything back, but it's like
You're just like shouting into her mask. Septi!
sorry, it just popped in my head.
Verloise comes back. Why are my ears ringing? Everyone else is just like, I don't know why, rubbing their ear. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, the light goes out and you can tell she's still breathing, but otherwise set up so that she's laying with the little bit of the body out, as well as her other hand holding, which you'd see the little glimmering sort of smoke-like form of the soul that she snatched, just holding in her palm open as she focuses her energy. It does take the better part of an hour for her to initially start the enter image, but after that gets sent out, then given the distance, because the enter images for her will take longer based on distance, and that's the better part of an hour, about 50 minutes. So, but in any case, as soon as she arrives, then you'd see as she lights, the indication that she's actually cast her consciousness elsewhere. But sure enough, it takes a little bit of time and then probably some waiting, since I mentioned that Septi wouldn't be able to just drop everything and do it. But
Makes sense, yeah.
But all the same, Verloise just stays there and stays limp until finally you would see that kind of bluish white energy that matches more Septi's casting than Verloise's more dark blue and black and white. As it seems to be kind of emanating from the handhold that is not directly on the body, but one of you realizes you'll have to just direct her hand to touch the remainder sitting in her lap.
Yeah. Kind of scooch it over there.
Yeah, you pick up her hand gently and just kind of like grab it by the wrist of the clothes before setting it on top of the remainder. Before there's a bit of a glow. You'd see the little remainder grows and changes as it definitely seems to turn into, as it just seemed to be a portion of their hair, but it grows out and seems to turn shock white. And then you'd see their face growing out, but moreover, you'd see horns. Not just one pair and not just two, but then 3 and 4 pairs of massive horns that seem to be large. But you'd also see animalistic looking ears as well as a snout forming. But as she reforms, you'd see, sure enough, that she seems to get female back, but very much a body clad in white fur. Seems fairly muscular until gets down to the remainder of her body, which seems to bear a sort of digitigrade stance, and then a long naked tail coming out the back, as it seems to be that she's coming back not quite as a rat folk. Rat folk are small. In her case, given the role, she seems to have come back as a these are called an anima. Anima being basically an animal creature with stats based on the race they are. In her case, the rat variant.
Neat.
Her eyes kind of just fly open as they're red and just kind of surprised as she seems to have some large, rather wicked, almost demonic-looking horns, but otherwise she's kind of gasps and kind of flails a bit as her claws grasp at the sand. Verloise, as the process itself takes about 10 minutes, would have reconnected with their body, and as this is happening, looks down at it, looks back at you all, she sees the souls taken properly, and just kind of... Septi says hi, by the way.
Yay!
I told her some of the going-ons, and she made a funny face.
That makes sense.
Otherwise, she takes off her cloak for now to help cover the driver-turned anima, and otherwise, over the course of your stay there, probably good use of the driver's former stuff to find some, not the most amazing clothes. Actually, the art that I found for it probably would work, as it's just, rather than being rags, it's probably just pieces and piecemealed so that she has decency.
That makes sense.
I found this one I showed to someone else to use for a baseline. Yeah, because 91 was player's choice, and I was like, I'll just invert that with 61 since I don't know what she would pick, and then 61 was rat as well, and I was like, okay then, I guess we're going rat.
Rat.
That's a pretty nice rat.
Koala, Gabriel wants to know if you had the grimace shake.
He's still alive, so obviously not.
Yeah, obviously not.
We were going to get it on the last day that we were there, but the last day that we were there was the 4th of July, and thus McDonald's was closed.
Yeah, we were going to actually do it. We were going to do a meme.
Nice.
We were going to make a TikTok with all the with us, Demon Fox, and Crystal, and it was going to be amazing. We went to Dave & Buster's.
Nice.
We did racing and fun shooting, and what was a funny one?
Dance Dance Revolution.
DDR was pretty funny. Coaching Crystal in Deal or No Deal.
Every time I opened my mouth, it ruined it.
Crystal was like, oh, I could go for like 100 or 6 tickets, and always was getting the 6. I felt so bad. I walk up, play it once, walk away with 250 tickets, and I'm just like,
yeah.
No.
no.
So like for that one, it was like 106, and like the person was like offering what 30 something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, why take that? You have a guaranteed 100 right there. 100% of the time, it's 100 tickets. And he's like, yeah, I do. No deal. 6 tickets. I was like, ooh.
Actually got the big jackpot off the drop the ball one. That one made me happy because that one's hard. We gotta hit the button so many times to drop it in the rotating
Yeah.
buckets.
I know what you
So
mean.
all you gotta do is just gotta hit it 5 times and not 6. If you hit 6, you're not gonna get it. It's like Anywho.
Also, one quick last tangent before we get back to it. But I did an awful thing where, you know how I played Dance Dance Revolution twice for 6 songs each or 3 songs each, and then we ran around to the entire con and all that stuff, and so I was super tired. Well, yesterday, yesterday, one of my friends convinced me to play Beat Saber again on expert songs, and one of them was a fucking squat song, and my body hurts.
No rest day for you, son.
I know.
But yeah. Otherwise, it takes a bit of talking and walking around Ipeck to explain to her. As the attack came so suddenly, she didn't even realize that she had died. Let alone the fact that now she is a not quite a rat folk. She's familiar with rat folk, and she'd recognize that she is not as short as one, as rat folk tend to be very short.
Well, welcome back. I'm sure this is disorienting.
Your probably questions of it just as far as I didn't even see the boneyard. I don't remember waiting in a line. No one came. Verloise kind of raises a finger. I kind of snatched your soul so you wouldn't go anywhere.
Yes. You got the front of the line treatment.
I figured I could release you to them if that's what was going to have to happen, and if not, then well. Oh, I thank you. She kind of like makes a kind of blah with her thing. Just my voice feels weird now. I sound.
Yeah, it's gonna take some getting used to, I'm sure.
And a must. That's it. Basically, it's the baseline race, like if they were born that way, like the progenitors of the race actually came from a basically a race that was formed from wizards who wanted a large amount of their familiars to have someplace to go and their own society for basically to become basically anthro. Oh my god, it's for fun. I'm just kidding. Anthro animals, but eventually they obviously bred true, and then now it's all so broad that even reincarnates insert people into that race. I'm just double checking since it's. Let's see, is there? Oh god, there's a spider animus. Ugh.
Oh dear.
Can't get that green sting scorpion.
Okay, yeah. So what you would be able to see difference from her own normally, since before she was fairly dexterous and still is in the new one. That seems very graceful about it, and she does seem to be a little quicker on the draw, but definitely a little jittery, and she definitely seems a little put off by this. But also seems like she has a much faster reaction time, even more so than her already dexterous nature, i.e., seems like she's getting dex and int, and you'd be able to notice that she gets bonus on initiative, and seems to have very good reactions to anything that basically area attacks. She gets a massive bonus, as well as looking at the fact that she's a rat, probably is very good against diseases. But otherwise also explains high-level magic that unfortunately she's not certain that this party can really afford so easily could bring her back to being a human, but otherwise she'd be able to inform her that animus do tend to live longer, and even if that's not her natural lifespan, Farazwa's not gonna be that angry if she enjoys the benefits of the reincarnate.
Well, hopefully she's happy with her new body. Or at least gets to be happy with it.
maybe I'll make that character into one for the replacement. Could be fun. More than just the driver.
True.
Animus are pretty fun.
Yeah. And outside, outside you died really fast. You didn't even, feel it, and you missed the whole part where we had to go deal with the no slavers.
I mean, I wouldn't say I felt nothing. There was pain. I felt like I saw something horrific involving my own body, and then black.
Yeah, probably just best to leave that blank.
If the Wasp kind of nods, you don't think about your death. Number one, it's traumatizing. Number two, it's confusing for those that come back. You're best to just not see it as your death. That was not your true death. That was simply a nightmare. But yeah, dressed in the shawl at first. She doesn't have a whole lot of money, as using a couple of the more scraps of her clothing and some other bits of brass and stuff like that, as she will actually utilize the character for the most part, for at least for our purposes, as she seems to make a bit of a rather tribal looking outfit, but some of it seems to be kind of driven by instinct more so than anything, but otherwise functional. As she strides back out and seems to move, the horses first seem to jump a bit at her appearance, but otherwise seem to recognize her behaviors as she shushes them and climbs onto the wagon she was driving.
Yeah.
She seems quiet and a bit introspective, but you can tell she's thankful for the res.
I take it you're feeling well enough to continue?
Better than staying in some odd town and just lounging about. Besides,
Fair.
I'd rather be out and where people aren't going to necessarily have a billion of them to stare at this. I don't think I recognize what I am. I know rat folk, and this is no rat folk. But it's not bad. Her tail kind of moves irritably.
I suppose it would be a little unusual around here.
On the upside, it seems the sun doesn't seem, even bearing down on me, doesn't seem all that hot.
I was surprised. I would have thought the fur would have made it worse.
I'd say with your age, you know that the fact that she's shock white. Generally, white is good for reflecting. Doesn't absorb as much heat as things that are black. For as far as materials.
Mm-hmm. Why do you
But
think I have a
plus her-
parasol?
So
But-
did you want to? Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, did we want to head right out, or are we gonna spend the night in town?
I mean, it makes sense to spend the night in town so you don't have to worry about a danger roll. Just
Yeah.
costs a bit of gold. For your caravan, it would be 40 gold.
Easily handled.
Mhm.
Yeah, as long as someone wants to mark that off. And then your stores are back up to 30.
Just take off the party wealth.
Yeah.
And that is a total of 13 charges down, which I'll worry about the next time. Okay. Yeah, so we're looking at kind of near the end here, but we could probably get you to at least the... Maybe it's best to hang off.
It might be best to hang off. That way we can
Yeah.
ideally
discuss the
figure out
plan.
if we want to sell anything. We can.
Yeah, that's true. And then
we
if
have
you
to
go...
have someone come in, it can happen here, and etc.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I guess folks. Well, first, since we want to talk about Alp, how about we? Well, first of all, Gabriel, if you're still in chat over there. Sorry, Dave. First of all, anyone who was in any of the chat. Sorry, I wasn't streaming. I'm still recovering from the Antrocon trip, and I'm kind of in a mood. But otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed. I know it was a little all over the place. I'm hoping to get my monitor back. I remember it did this before, and it just kind of popped back on one day. So it's like, I don't know what's going on. But we have to just play with it. Otherwise, Hope you guys had fun, and hopefully we'll be able to get something rolling on Monday. But we're gonna see.
Yeah. Yeah. Have a good night, everybody.
Love
Have a
you.
good